Good morning, everybody. Just gonna wait a few minutes for everyone to come on live. Guten Morgen. Just trying to share this video out to a few people. Hello. Hello, Allison. Hello, Margaret. We're just going to wait a few minutes before we begin. Lots to do. Lots happening this week, folks. Confirm. There we go. Good morning. Hello, Nicole. Hi, Silva. We're just going to wait a couple of minutes for everybody to come live. Today is about love is God's food. Love is God's food. And the fascinating thing about that is as a species, we've been eating the wrong diet. The wrong diet. And we're going to try and correct some of that today. And hopefully people understand that food isn't just about food you consume for your body. Food is not just about food that you consume from your body. So be patient. We're just going to share this out to the other page. Yeah, what a day. So much stuff happening all at once. As we near this exciting day of the 21st of December 2021, which I find is interesting because this is actually 2012 according to the Julian calendar. And you look at 2021 and 2012, and the 2012, the 12 and the 21 are reversed, they're mirrors of each other. Remember, they're mirrors of each other. 2012 and 2021 are mirrored numbers, those back numbers. So they're a mirror of each other. And the people that are orchestrating the geopolitical and geosocial engineering processes for the last 600-700 years know this. They know how to utilize time and numerology and astrology to favor the creative processes that they're engaged in. Today, though, is about that love is God's food. Love is God's food. So anything you think, feel, say, and do that's based in love is feeding your soul. Anything that's based in fear is feeding your ego. Anything. And there's a lot of stuff, information moving around in this world right now that's trying to feed your ego all the time. You watch just about any television show, Netflix, Prime, any of these TV shows, most of the stuff that comes out of Hollywood is based out of feeding your ego. They want to feed your fear. They don't want to feed your love, because in a state of fear, you can be controlled and manipulated. Yes, and Metatron's been here with me this morning discussing this. That's very important. You get out of the manipulations of ego and get restored to the food of God, which is love. And how do you distinguish between the food of God and the food of the ego, right? The system that's existing right now. How do we learn to distinguish between the two? And he says it's very simple. One is an expression and an extension and a reception of love. The other is an expression and an extension of fear. And knowing the difference is how you feel. Watch, I challenge any of you that are here today to watch almost any television show, any movie that's come out of Hollywood in the last 70 years that isn't based in fear, power, control, manipulation, mistrust. Almost everything coming out of mass media is based on that, based on fear. And so how do you as a person, we get calls all the time from people saying they're suicidal, they don't know what to do, they're terrified, what do I do? The first thing we always say to them is stop watching television. Stop watching the news. Stop feeding your ego what it needs to thrive. Your ego requires fear to thrive. And this is the most difficult part of people today. People are challenged because they're caught up in the ego, but they're seeking love. And the ego gets far more attention in this dimension than does love. The ego gets far more attention in this dimension than does love. And we have to flip that. As light workers, we need to flip that. He says it's important you understand how to distinguish between fear and love. So these people that are at high anxiety states, can't sleep at night, anxious all the time, stop feeding your mind with fear. Most of you are lying in bed at night and your minds are going on. You just finished watching Game of Thrones or some other silly thing that puts fear and death and terror in your mind. The ego loves that because the ego in a state of fear can be manipulated and controlled. And look at what's happening on the planet today. 7 billion people manipulated and controlled by a lie. This is not acceptable anymore. This is not going to be accepted. It's not going to be allowed anymore. It's time to transcend the food of the ego and replace it with the food of God, which is love. God's food is love. Thoughts, actions, words, deeds, what you take into your temple, it needs to be based in love. And there's not a lot of that in the world in mass media today. In fact, you might find 0.1% of what you will hear on the news has any inkling of good in it. Anything in what they're telling you about the world and disease and viruses, not even, if you can find anything that's loving about that, good luck. But I'll tell you what it does do. It feeds the ego. Yes. So there's going to be a huge push in the next 10 days, a huge push from the angelic hierarchy to begin to inject vibrational frequencies of love into the collective unconsciousness of humanity and the collective consciousness of humanity. So for many of you lightworkers, if you start perceiving brighter lights around you, sudden an increase in number sequences, understand it's important you connect to the vibrational frequency of love and bring it into your temple. Yes, he says, bring it into our temple. They want us to allow only love to come into your eyes, into your ears, into your nose, into your mouth. Love in the form of food, good nutrition is a form of love. Putting in good nutrition is a form of God's love. I'm going to repeat that. Putting in good nutrition is a form of God's love. Putting things in your body that stimulate fear, amphetamines, drugs, alcohol, those things stimulate and feed the ego. They stimulate and feed the ego. And you want to get away from that. We have to get back so that we're functioning from an internal perspective of God's love. And so there's going to be a huge push in the next 10 days from the angelic hierarchy to awaken, nurture, and feed the collective consciousness and unconsciousness of humanity to restore it, return it to a vibrational frequency of love intentionally. But be open for it. Be open, yes, right now. Right now it's happening as well, like it started now. In the next 10 days, this is going to be unfolding. So be mindful of only allowing love into your eyes, into your ears, into your body. Turn your TVs off. Stop watching those movies. Stop watching these hypersensitive emotional roller coaster shows that are based in growing your ego. Your ego is based in fear and can be controlled and manipulated. You as a soul, when you are lost in your ego, can be manipulated and controlled very easily. And we can see that readily happening around the world, right? And a small percentage of people are rising up against the ego, which is fear. So please, yes, he wants us to really focus on God's love, allowing ourselves to align to God's love. God's love. And that's a very powerful thing. What is God's love? God's love is those things that improve the vitality of your body, increase the joy and the presence of love in your heart and your mind, increases peace, increases creativity, increases playfulness, increases compassion and peace. You know when you are eating of God's light. Yes, you know when you're consuming the love of God because you're going to feel better inside. And there's not much of that on television right now. There's one or two channels that attempt to do that. But again, they don't get a lot of attention in mainstream media. There's one or two channels that attempt to articulate God's love as a primary medium of communication between yourself and your source and the angelic hierarchy. So I'm really happy to announce that over the next 10 days, we have all of these angels and archangels and the angelic hierarchy in great power are going to be coming in the next 10 days, putting down a vibrational frequency of love, which is why they call it today, love is God's food. Love is God's food. And yeah, so these things that you're going to see, this event coming up on the 21st, the Star of Bethlehem event, is literally Metatron's cube being put in the sky. That's what this is going to be reflecting, Metatron's cube being put in the sky, a configuration that's based in perfection and organization, based in love, not in fear. Fear is chaotic. Love is highly organizing. Yes, he's saying that those that are driven by ego, cannot organize as well as those driven by love. But those that are aware that they can control ego from the perspective of consciousness, they can organize very well, but they cannot stand against the light of love. They cannot stand in the light of love. Yes, so a lot of the systems you're going to see are going to start breaking down. A lot of our social systems, our geopolitical systems, are going to begin a breakdown process because fear is unsustainable. Fear, even in your body, fear is unsustainable. Yes, you cannot sustain the vibrational frequency in your body of fear, for it will age and decay very rapidly. Whereas the vibrational frequencies of love, cultivated into your body and into your mind, will extend your life greatly. Even as the days of those you call Noah, you may extend your life greatly from the vibrations of love. If you feed your body love, if you feed your mind love, if you feed the world your love, your life will be extended greatly. Cool. So this is a really exciting time. And yeah, good morning, everybody. Just gonna correct this here. Hi, Katya. Gonna say hi to everybody here. There we are. Hi. Hello, Earth Angel. Yeah, we got really, like I said, so these next 10 days, be open. Shut off anything from your world that's trying to feed your ego. Your ego is fed by fear. Our egos are fed by fear. And so you want to stop putting things into the mind and into the body that amplify fear, because that just feeds the ego. The ego, your ego, can be controlled. It can be controlled and manipulated, where you as a soul are a sentient free will being, and you are based and founded in what you are, which is love. You are God's love and extension. All of us are. We are God's love and extension. Yes, he wants me to correct you. The term God is a general term that I am choosing to use at this time because most of you can conceive of a single concept of love as a deity called God. Although many of us in the angelic realms and on the higher dimensional realms are from this vibrational frequency that you call love. But for the purpose of getting you to focus exclusively on one singular concept, that being love, I am using the term of God today. In other days, we would use the term gods. For some of you will need multiple representatives of this conception of God. But it is important you understand that the vibrational energy of love is freedom, liberation, creation, harmony, unity, peace. The children of fear are its opposite: suffering, pain, death, war. Yes, imbalance. So it's important we understand this over the next 10 days. Open up to love. Open up to love. Your angels, your guides, your guardian angels, the multidimensional beings, the Pleiadians, there's this huge movement right now for love to become the dominant food for body, mind, and soul. So start to pay attention to what you're eating, what you're drinking. Are you putting love into the body? Are you putting a vibration of love in the body? Now, if this were alcohol, by the way, when you drink alcohol, it electrically disconnects your soul from the body. So it doesn't surprise me that with all these lockdowns, they would allow alcohol to be sold, period. They would allow alcohol disconnects. This isn't alcohol, this is pure water. Alcohol disconnects your soul from your body. That's why people have blackouts when they drink too much alcohol, because there's no more electrical connection between the body, because the alcohol changes the frequency of the body so much that the soul loses awareness of it. It literally disconnects you from your body. So get away from things that do not feed your body love. Alcohol will not feed your body love. Caffeine does not feed your body love. It feeds it fear, whether you know it or not. That's why people get hopped up on caffeine to try and get an energy rush, right? Because they're not based in love, they're based in fear. Put foods that are loving into your body, living, live, vibrant, healthy foods. Do the same thing with your thoughts. Are your thoughts joy of thoughts? Are your thoughts of excitement and anticipation and playfulness and creativity? Are you putting thoughts of love in your mind? And it's your mind that is the battleground between what you call good and evil. Your mind is the battleground between what you call good and evil. But in your mind, you as the soul in your mind are the great one, the authority. You may decide which is the left and which is the right. You get to decide and sort out the wheat from the chaff. You are that awareness that can do that. Say, this thought does not please me. This thought does. This idea does not please me. This idea does. Learning to sort your mind out, to align it to love, is a deliberate process. It will not happen automatically unless you surrender to someone else. But someone else right now is controlling your mind and keeping most of you in fear. This is not acceptable. Authority was meant to be a loving authority until the concept of separation came into play, and those that felt their comfort in being separate from that one source now control many. So feed your body love, feed your mind love, get your TVs off, especially during these 10 days. Open up to vibrational frequencies of love. You'll know it because it'll make you feel good. Your energy will go up. Yes. Thank you. So I hope you guys are feeling what I'm feeling right now, because I just feel like this, like a starlight coming out from my whole body right now. It comes in through the crown chakra, comes out and radiates out. And it's available to all of us. Align yourself to the frequency of love. Get your TV, your news stations off. Stop letting advertisers grab your life from you. Get yourself aligned to a vibration of love. It's going to be really powerfully intense over the next 10 days. We're going to take some questions and answers on this. So love is God's food. That is the subject today. Love is God's food. And it is. It really, really is. Fear is not God's food. Love is God's food. Fear is the ego's food. So that you can tell very quickly if you're in your ego. If you enjoy watching things that terrify you and scare you, then you're probably based in ego. Because whether you realize that, a lot of people that go to bed at night can't sleep, they're anxious, they're afraid, they can't go to sleep, my mind is running on. They're probably watching TV shows or letting their mind run on autopilot. They're not sorting it out. They're not the authority in the temple. You have to become the authority and say, this thought does not represent who I am. This emotion is because of that thought. And once you start to learn to sort your mind out, you start to liberate yourself. Yes, I know. Okay. Well, questions and answers. Hi, guys. Good morning, everybody. Yeah. It is an amazing day for us. I think I'll do the questions down here. That way I'm not shaking the camera on you guys. It's pretty amazing what's happening. That these 10 days, the angelic hierarchy, the multidimensional beings, the Pleiadians, the Lyrans, you name it, they're here to amplify intensely the vibrational frequencies of love over the next 10 days. So it's going to be really intense. Remove anything from that's coming into your senses that is not a vibrational match for love. Remove anything that's stimulating that, whether it's food or television, and align yourself deliberately in your meditations to vibrational frequencies, thoughts, conceptions, ideas of love, so that you can amplify these. For those of you that are highly empathic, for those of you that are highly clairvoyant or clairaudient, you might start to hear different frequencies that are very pleasing. Yes. Gabriel saying it's what you would call the horn of Gabriel is a frequency. It is a vibrational frequency that enlivens and uplifts you. So when you hear it, you will feel your joy expand and increase. There will be many such things like this. Many such things like this. Cool. Yes. Remember, 90% of the population right now is 90% of the souls on this planet are trapped in ego. They've been lured into the ego state by the seduction of the senses, right? To sensationalize information, to sensationalize ideas, so that you get your body and mind get excited and get trapped in their ideas of fear and guilt and shame and mistrust, right? And you can only trust certain people. You can't trust anybody else. Question from Nicole. I caught myself watching the Animal Channel and watching the lions eating the deer. Why is this world like this? Well, again, I'll go back to something Jamal Ipsikiu said, and if you can search Jamal Ipsikiu on my YouTube channel. It's a video that was done a couple of years ago, where he said 72,000 years on this planet, there were actually two suns around the earth. 72,000 years ago, there were actually two suns around the earth. And these two suns allowed the earth to be plentiful with light, and you could grow food virtually anywhere on the planet. And all life forms lived in harmony. There was no need nor want. The need to survive was not existent. There was just a state of love and grace. He called it Eden then. It was known as Eden on the planet then. And something occurred. We don't know what it is. He said that there were individuals in Eden that began to recognize when the separation happened, when certain individuals realized they could have more than others. They could have more than others. And then imbalance began. And as that imbalance grew and expanded, one of the sons was lost. One of the sons was lost. And then we went into a survival mentality on this planet. And we've been living in that mentality for 72,000 years as a survival-based consciousness, as opposed to a love-based consciousness, from love to fear. That's why we have the polarities, right? So understand that was not always the case, right? We have a dog. We have a little puppy dog, and she'll eat vegetarian if she wants to. You know, she eats fruit and vegetables all the time. She loves them, and that's the way all things lived. The plant kingdom fed everything up. It was so plentiful. But yeah, it's going to change. Again, we're going forward to a whole new realm. We're going to come back at a higher level here. Great question, Nicole. Hi, Oregon. Good to have you here. Hello, Mary. Hello, Ruth. Hello, Passive Voice, Patricia. Hello, Silver King. Wonderful. Hello, Mary. Hello, Wei. Question from Mary. While I ask for directions, I simply keep finding lonely. My connections are gone. Those who are here are critical. I am woo-woo. Do you eat only raw foods, William? Most of the time. I'm about 90% raw right now. There's a couple of things like rice. I will parboil my rice to remove any arsenic from it. I parboil my rice and quinoa as well. So I'm not 100% raw yet, but I'm getting there. It's been a long process. 2.5 years ago, I was a diehard meat eater. I mean, I ate 2 to 3 pounds of meat every day. You ask my wife, she can literally watch me sit and eat a chicken. And I don't do that anymore. That's changed. So over the last 2 years, they've instructed me step by step on how to make the transition from where I was to where I am now. So I would class myself as a vegetarian on the verge of becoming raw, right? Vegetarian on the verge of becoming raw. I don't eat meat anymore. It's important that you understand that there's going to be a transition. And again, there'll be a transition for everybody. It's not something you can just be doing and jump over. It's a process. So be kind and be gentle to yourself. Every step you make, even if you're drinking 2 or 3 cups of coffee a day, which I used to drink 2 or 3 cups of coffee a day, and transitioning away from caffeine was an incredible process. Caffeine was actually harder for me to give up than anything else. But yeah, no, I'm mostly raw now, and definitely vegetarian. And again, the process is going to be unique and distinct for each of you. Transition, be respectful and mindful of your transition, right? I know we have some people that have made literally stop cold turkey. I certainly stopped meat right away, and I stopped caffeine right away, and that was very hard. Caffeine was actually really hard to get away from because of the addictive tendency of it. I went through withdrawal symptoms for about 1.5 days of intense headaches, and then they told me to replace the caffeine with water, good, clean, distilled water, remineralized, And I did. And once you start replacing the caffeine with water habitually, it doesn't take long. You'll be over the addiction in a week's time. Then there's other areas, sugars, processed sugars. I had to get rid of all that processed sugars. I used to love chocolate, right? I still love chocolate, but now we make our own natural, healthy, raw, organic chocolate treats now. No additives, no preservatives, none of that stuff. So I totally respect all of you that aren't where I am. And I respect those of you that are further than I am. And I respect those of you that are at the beginning, because it is a process. But ask your guides. Ask Raphael to come in and help you with food. Help with the healing transition in your body, because your body's going to go through withdrawals if you want to start changing what you eat, how you eat, why you eat it. You're going to go through a transition. So ask Raphael for help in terms of transitioning your body into a better state. He'll be very helpful that way too. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you for that question, Mary. Yes. Just scrolling down here. I can't see all these comments. Here we go. How do I cure my food allergies? That's a great question. A starting point, again, this just came to me. It's funny you asked this. This just came to me a few days ago. If you want to begin the process of breaking down allergies, get more natural sunlight. Test it out. Remember, I'm not offering you medical advice. I'm just telling you what I've heard and what I personally experienced. That once you start to transition towards healthy living, once you start to put live foods in, make certain you're getting more sunlight. A lot of allergies are a result of deficiencies in vitamin D in the body. And funny, I just got that information earlier this week, that vitamin D, when it's too low in the body, can cause allergic reaction and hypersensitivity to certain foods. So whatever your weakest allergy is, again, it's just a suggestion. You don't have to try this, but try the allergy you have the least, and get exposure to vitamin D, at least sunshine, not vitamin D, not the pill, sunlight, 20 minutes a day for a week. If you can do that, 20 minutes a day for a week, then test out the minor allergy and see what your body's reaction is to it. Remember, it's about experimenting. Our bodies were not born allergic to life. This has been conditioned. Vaccination programs have been in effect for almost 70 years now on this planet, and they've been altering people's DNA with these things. You do a little research into vaccines and you look what they're putting in the fetal cells, pig liver cells, like the stuff they're putting in vaccines, not to mention the thimerosal, have been reorganizing your DNA gradually. People going, why are more and more people getting sick every year? Well, because they've been altering our DNA as a species for close to 70 years now, and most people never question it. We've been conditioned to believe that the authority of medicine is greater than the authority of God within your body that created it in the first place. There's something that created your body in the first place. It's better to get into a relationship with that and ask it to work with you. And that's another thing you can do. You can actually go in, talk to the part of the body that's allergic and say, hey, listen, I really want you to benefit from this. You can actually talk to the part of your body that's allergic. Talk to the part of your body that's allergic and find out what it needs. You can actually have a communication with it. Its intelligence is trying to get your attention. The allergy is not there to hurt you. It's there to get your attention. It needs something. So go into the part that's allergic and ask it, what is it you need from me? Yes. Drink more water is what I get, of course. I don't have any allergies. But I drink, again, something inside me needs water, so I'm going to give it some water right now. It's important. You learn to have a communication with the consciousness within you. The kingdom of God is within you, right? So that's just a personal suggestion. It's not medical advice. Please understand that. Yeah, chicken and turkey were the last to go for me too, Tanya. Yeah, I'm glad you put that comment up there. Thank you so much. Arma, yeah. Understand, yeah, please talk to the allergies. They'll listen. They really will. It'll answer you. There's intelligence in everything in your body, whether it's an allergy or a pain or a throb. It's a consciousness, it's energy, it's awareness. It's something that's trying to get your attention. Everything that gets your attention in your body is there because it needs something. You know, you got liver disease or kidney disease. There's something in your consciousness, in your body. It needs something. And we have been so conditioned to think that our needs must be satisfied from the outside in. So we go to the doctor, the priest, the minister, the rabbi, try and find something out there to satisfy a need that we have internally. I had a similar experience with cigarettes when I gave up cigarette smoking many years ago. I had an epiphany. I realized that the urge for the cigarette was something within me trying to emerge. And then I asked the part that had the urge, that was something to emerge, said, "What are you? What is your function?" It said, "I want to write." So I began writing a lot then. And to this day, I still write. I got a huge volume of work that that's unpublished. And everything within your body is not, you can call it sickness or disease, but it's something inside you that needs something. Yes. Raphael says, it's very simple once you understand ultimately the need of any part of you is that requirement called love. To understand how to feed love to yourself, to your body, to this physical realm, to feed love to it. This is something that all of you are capable of. You are made in the image and likeness of love. It is what you are. And all healing comes from that perspective of understanding the frequency of love organizes the conditions of your experience of matter very differently than does the energy and vibrational experience of fear. There are very clear distinctions in experience. Many people get frustrated, angry, and even afraid when a part of their body becomes diseased. They get angry and afraid when that part needs their love and assurance. But as sure as you could pat your little toy animal and make it feel good, you can do the same thing for your body. You can make your body feel good. You can help it to heal by giving it your love, not your fear. But most of you get sickness or disease and you go into fear about it. And then you go to the doctors who help reinforce your fear and tell you there may not be any chance for you. And you believe that, and that increases your fear. Go to the need. Talk to the organ. Talk to the nerves. Talk to the glands. What are they calling for? Love. But what is the form of love they need? It may be a vitamin. It may be a mineral. It may be food. It may be different thoughts. It may be different activities. Your body has the divine in every molecule, and it can respond to you, and does. Every molecule in your body will respond to you. Thank you. And it is true, isn't it? I mean, you think that all the molecules in there respond, open, close, open, close. And I know when I shattered my foot into 4 separate pieces, my heel bone, and when I was told to communicate to all the muscles, tendons, ligaments that were damaged and torn in the bones, and told to communicate to them what I wanted them to do from a perspective of love, it healed very quickly. I literally walked out of the hospital in a month's time. And that was after surgical intervention. And the healing process, they were astounded. So your body, whether it's your kidneys, your nerves, your organs, your glands, your heart, it will listen to you. It hears every thought you think. It feels every emotion you feel. So give attention to thoughts and emotions that feed love into your body. Love is God's food, right? That's what love is. And when you learn to become as the Creator made you in the image and likeness of itself, which is what you are, love. Imagine giving love to your body all the time. Imagine that. Imagine how a child that's unhappy and you gave it love, how it's going to respond. You look at a dog or a cat and you care about it. You watch it. You want to see something really inspiring, go and watch those animal videos on YouTube where they rescue animals. And these animals, some of them are terrified and vicious and are cornered and really destitute. And they give you see these humans giving these animals love, and you watch the vibration of their love to that animal transforms it literally. Even animals that were on the death's door gets brought back to life. Well, your body is an animal body. And why would you not treat your animal body with the degree of love that it deserves so that you could elevate your vitality and your health up physically as well? You are the divine that can give the divine to yourself. Thank you. Yeah. I'm going to take a couple more questions today, I think. Question from Patricia. What role does 5D Merkabah meditation play now as taught by Maureen Saint Germain? Is it a tool that will assist the receiving of love at this time? Absolutely. Anything that is highly organized from a higher frequency of light, and this is important. You know, look at you are connected to infinite source. All of us are. You know and can feel when you are experiencing, receiving, or transmitting a vibration of love because it feels good. It expands your energy. Love expands your energy. Fear contracts it. Love expands, fear contracts. And so when you're doing these meditations on the Merkabahs, when you're doing the meditations in the some of, I know we know some of you do the meditations in the pyramids as well. But whatever meditation you're doing, whatever mechanism you're using, the mechanism and the relationship you feel with it should be experienced as a frequency of love. You should feel your energy field expanding. And if we were to ask you right now to expand your awareness to fill the space of the room around your body, if we were to ask you to do that right now, to fill the space around your body with your awareness, and then to make a decision that this space is going to be given the vibration of love from you, through you, are you willing to do that? And what will you feel changing in this space? We know exactly what you would feel if you make the decision that you're going to fill the space around your body with the vibrations of love as you understand them to be. And if you're doing this, if you're participating even in this short time, you will feel an expansion. You will even feel the cells in your body responding. And you will feel the molecules in the space around your body responding. So when you do these meditations with others, when you do these divine works and these workshops, the experience ought to be an expansion of your consciousness, not a diminishment of it, an upliftment, not a diminishment. And you know the distinction. Each of you knows when you are experiencing love and when you are experiencing fear. Each of you knows this. And that is what you need to pay attention to. It's easy to get caught up in the external phenomena, but always be mindful of what you, as the awareness, are experiencing. Are you experiencing an expansion? Are you experiencing an enhancement in your being? Are you experiencing more goodness, more peace, more joy, more love, more compassion, more empathy? Well, then you are aligning yourself to love. So all of these mechanisms that will support that process of expansion will do this. You can recognize them as extensions of love. So whether that is the Merkabah, or whether it is your breath, or whether it is a beautiful apple that you're eating, anything that expresses and expands your love is God's food. Thank you. Great question. Question from Lauren. Is there a reason why some star seeds are still lower vibrational situations? Are we holding a space for those who are still awakening? Is this part of the plan? Absolutely. Light, you've ever watched the moths? Yes, thank you. When you ever watch the moths at night, they circle the lights. You see them circling the street lights at night. In the summer, you see the moths circling these street lights. When you radiate your light, those that need that light will see it, will come into your experience. How you are able to maintain your light will determine whether or not you are a transformational energy for them. Because you can also watch some of those moths will get too close to light and the light will burn them and they'll fall to the ground, right? Because the light is too bright for them. But that's a light, physical light. But you as a conscious soul can recognize only those that are based in love can enter your space. Only love can leave your space. Understanding that concept. When you align yourself to the frequency of love, yes, you are a keeper of light. Others may come into that light because they can see it. And then the goal is to not become their light, but to inspire them to recognize that the light is within them also. And then more and more of you shine together. And then more and more of you shine together. And the deliberate process of activating and consciously staying aligned to the frequencies of light that you are will elevate this for all that are willing to receive that, to incorporate that, to become that which they are again consciously. There are many of you that are stuck in your minds and bodies as the sole expression of who you think you are. And that has been manipulated and controlled by the environment. And your liberation from that form of control of the external senses being that which determines your reality, the liberation from that makes you the position where you put you in the position where you begin to radiate that love, that light, that joy out to others consistently and repeatedly wherever you are. It's a choice. It's a choice you can make. Yes. But we were all designed that way, yes. We were all designed to be able to radiate love. That's why little babies, when a baby's born, everybody wants to see the baby. Oh, the baby's so cute. Because the baby's just radiating unconditional trust and love. That's what babies do. They're radiating unconditional trust and love. And that's freedom in our natural state. And then of course, everybody wants to get in on the action and try and get some of that love and get some because they've been disconnected from it. But when a parents are in a state of love and grace with their child, it's just the most beautiful thing to watch a parent and child when there's a complete state of unconditional love, and there's just that state of unity, and it expands that light even further. But yeah, please work on staying aligned to a vibrational frequency of love. People will come into our lives based on the vibrational energy we are radiating. What you're experiencing around you is because of what you're experiencing within you, consciously or subconsciously. You start to change that, it starts to change around you. Yes, there's other things to do. I know that. They were just saying to me that there's more to it than that, but that's the simple element of it, is that once you align yourself to light and to love, you can broadcast it, and people will start showing up in your life very differently. Let's see here. Question from Blaine for Saint Germain: what is my personal role in this great plan rollout? He's saying, do not be too concerned for the plans of tomorrow, for what is today will be tomorrow. If you, in your expression of being, are in that divine frequency, then what care have you for tomorrow? For today will take care of that for you. The plan will unfold, for each day is a puzzle piece. And while the puzzle is known to the Creator, you ask this question because you are seeking to understand as this finite part. And I would simply say to you that in the alignment of love as you understand it to be, you are creating the fullness of the plan in the days to come. And if you deviate from that perspective, then the reverse would be true. You can see the diminishment of love. It is very easy to measure, but in your case, the plan is rolling out quite nicely, we would add. Quite nicely. Thank you. Thank you, Blaine. Is it my path to move into my friend's farmhouse? I don't know who this is, but they're giggling about it. Yeah. Yes. I don't know why, but they're away in the words "away in a manger" are being said to me. Away in a manger. That there's some sort of awakening you're trying to come to that you can't come to where you are. That this will be a temporary measure that will allow you to reconnect to an aspect of yourself that you've been disconnected from for a long time, to reintegrate it back into the present moment, to be able to reintegrate the wholeness of yourself back into the present moment. Yes, it's a stepping stone. It'll be a stepping stone for you. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. I'm just getting other information. Am I my brother's keeper? That's a great question. We are all our brother's keeper. Every thought you think, every action you do affects others, even in the privacy of your own space. What you think, what you say, and you do is generating a field that affects others. You know, when they declared this pandemic, they made a statement of energy that affected, look at what it's done. It's affected everyone. So yes, we are our brother's keeper, but we're either a brother's keeper as a keeper of love or a keeper of fear. By your fruits you shall know them. By their fruits you shall know them. That which is love and that which is fear are very different, and you know the distinction. But many of you choose to ignore that because you've been so cultivated into believing that an external authority knows greater than the great one within you, than that great light that is within you beating your heart. There are none greater than it on this world. Align yourself to this, and you'll be the greatest keeper for your brothers. You will be the greatest keeper when you're in alignment to love. Cool, thank you. Great question. Okay. Just checking to see if there's any more questions here. Okay, there's one more question. Before I get to that, I want to say to my Patreons, I hope you all received the email yesterday for the Healing with the Masters Part 2 event that we're going to be doing for patrons only on this Sunday at 3 p.m. It's going to be really exciting, guys. So again, for my Patreon supporters, thank you so much for your support. we're doing this event for you guys this Sunday. I'm excited about who's going to come in and the type of healing we're going to be doing. They said body, mind, soul, and dimensional healing. Body, mind, soul, and dimensional healing. So it's going to be kind of fun. So we'll see you guys there on Sunday. And for those of you that did not get the email, let me know. You can send me an email at williammichaelforbes59@gmail.com, and I'll correct that. Question from Jana. I want to be able to change the right path for me. Has Jesus any message for me? He's saying the same thing. Understand the distinction between love and fear. If you understand the distinction between these two, then your outcome, your path is assured. Love is your way. Love is the way. But you may deviate from that. You may deviate from that. You are all free to decide whether you shall live from love or from fear. What is your choice? Your uncertainty in the question would suggest that you are still making the choice between love and fear. And I would simply say to you that there is only one way for you that would be satisfying, and that is love. Understand that that which you give to yourself, that which you give to others, can only be of one of two things, that which is fear or that which is love. And what would you choose today? What would you choose right now? What will you choose tomorrow? Thank you. Thank you, Louise. Well, that wasn't Louise, that was Jana. Thank you, Jana. Wonderful. We'll see you there, Louise. Wonderful. So yeah, this has been a very interesting day. Yes. So the next 10 days, the angelic hierarchy are going to be the ones coming at the forefront of this. The angelic hierarchy are going to be on the forefront. They're the tip of the spear. But there's the others, the Pleiadians, the Lyrans, many multidimensional beings are going to be amplifying, injecting into human collective consciousness and unconsciousness a vibrational frequency of love. Remove anything from your senses that is stimulating fear. Remove anything from your body that's stimulating fear. For at least 10 days, if you can do this, reduce the things that put stress on your body, processed foods, heavy meats, caffeine, alcohol, anything that's going to keep your vibration in an ego state. Because that's where we are right now. We're seeing the full-blown ego state effect on the planet right now. We're seeing what the human ego has become on the planet right now. And now we're going to try and move the needle the other way back towards love, so that we can have a different experience. I was also told that the event this Sunday was specifically to not just heal, but also to align ourselves to that frequency of love too. Question from Inshiru. Do my guides have a message for me concerning the asthmatic condition I've been experiencing this week? Thanks. Inshira, thank you so much for asking this question. It's the second time, this is actually the third time this week this has been brought to our attention. And I've gotten the same answer every time. Get more sunlight. You should be getting at least 20 minutes sunlight a day, every day. And if you can't get sunlight, then at least take a vitamin D supplement that increases your natural, what did you say it was again? That your body is lacking in light. The light, which is a frequency of love. Love and light are the same thing. Light is love. Get into the sun. Bring in love. Stop attacking your symptoms. Stop attacking your symptoms. Extend your love to them, not your frustration. Extend your compassion to them, not your disappointment. For you are that which you seek. Please extend the vibration of your love to the symptoms. You will see the symptoms abate almost immediately. Extend your love to the symptoms, not your disdain, not your frustration, not your anger. Extend your love to those symptoms. Wow, that's another side. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that. That was Raphael. Wonderful. And thank you for that 1111 donation in Shiru. I really appreciate that. We are at an amazing time in history, people. And we're all participating in this. There's not one of us on this planet can escape the experience that we're collectively creating. But all of us can consciously participate in it. Most are not. They're telling me 90% of the people are stuck in ego right now, but have been programmed or conditioned to be stuck in ego, right? Most people are stuck in ego because they're captured that way. Remember the moths to the flame, or the moths to the light? You know, the CNN, the news, Hollywood, these sensationalized movies, they're all that's all like the candle flame. And a lot of people just get drawn into the sensationalized energy of that. And it ends up being detrimental to our species, and has been for over 70 years. It's conditioned us to become dependent on external stimulation rather than getting connected to the source within us and going, ah, thank you for beating my heart. Thank you for digesting my food. Thank you for circulating my blood. Thank you for keeping this mechanism alive so that I can become all that I can become in this dimension. Very few people realize or turn. How often do you thank the Creator that's beating your heart right now? Most people ignore it all day long. They'll go around through, 100,000 heartbeats a day, and you ignore that. If somebody gives you 100,000 gifts a day, 100,000 heartbeats a day, it's 100,000 gifts a day. How often do you turn around and say, thank you for this wonderful heartbeat. Thank you so much for this wonderful heartbeat. How often do you do that? And I'll tell you something, when you start doing that, you're going to feel something inside you. Because once it knows that you know and that you respect it and appreciate it, it gives back to you in a completely new way. But how often do you do that? You stop. 100,000 gifts a day. Isn't that amazing? We're worried about making a paycheck or hoping somebody says something nice to me or maybe I'll get this or I'll get... No, you're getting 100,000 gifts every single day. Think about that. And remember that love is God's food, and He's feeding you every moment. It is feeding you every moment. It's running the blood systems and the nerves and love is God's food, and He's feeding you all of the time. And get into that. Get into that. When you're finished today, feel your heartbeat. Think about it. Your liver, your kidneys. That's the creative intelligence of the universe operating your body for you. Right? No scientist on the planet, no human on the planet can open and close their hand 70 times a second, and do that for every single day for 365 days. Nobody else can do that. But something is doing that, and it's not just instinct. It's a program that's running, a program that's been put in the body by your Creator, by our Creator. Wow. I want to thank all of you for your support. If you want to support my messages a little bit more, please become a member of my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. I would love your support that way. We do live events for patrons where we do at least one monthly event on the 7th day of the 7th hour of every month. We do a monthly draw for patrons, so I'll give a free reading away once a month for patrons. And then we do these things that come up spontaneously, where I've been asked to do these healing events, and it's amazing. It's and those are all for patrons only. Thank you. Question from Doval Queen 420. Question: my first pregnancy didn't come to term. What happened? And did that baby soul return as either of my two children? Well, they're saying right now they're giggling joyfully. They're saying you already know the answer to the second part of your question. As to the first part of the question, there was no loss at all. The timing was not right. They're saying, please do not continue to review that which was lost was found. Stop telling yourself the illusion. The illusion is that you lost something. You have lost nothing. You merely altered the timing so that which would unfold would be as it could. Yes. Yeah, don't do that. So many people do that to themselves. But we've been trained to regret. You look at the native communities around the world that are suffering horribly from alcoholism and drug addiction, and their whole reality was devastated. And they still suffer, not because they are designed to suffer, they're supposed to suffer. They suffer because they keep revisiting the suffering of the past. If you keep going back to that loss and thinking of it as a loss, you're stuck in the past. You're not living in the present. You have not lost anything. What that did was alter the timing for subsequent events that you're now living. So please Stop doing that to yourself. Stop going back and wondering. That soul is with you in your life right now, right? It's with you right now. Whenever you go back and you wonder, did I lose something? I could have done that right. You're actually slowing yourself down. Stop it. Stop doing that to yourself. And thank you for that. I really appreciate the question, Dova. Wonderful. So again, remember, when you get off today, look at anything that is love based. Feed your body love. That's proper food, proper nutrition, proper exercise. Go out and ground, get sunlight. Give your body love. Give your mind love in the form of thoughts of joy, peace, possibility, excitement. Give your mind thoughts of love. And take away anything that's trying to feed you fear. Turn your attention away from anything that's trying to feed you fear. Whether it's CNN or NBC or ABC or any of these things. Turn your attention away from anything, any Hollywood movies that are designed to keep you in a state of fear. Just turn it for 10 days. Just for 10 days. Turn your attention away from all these things that are feeding you fear. And let the angelic hierarchy work with and through you. Let the Pleiadians, let the Lyrans, let all of these different multidimensional beings that are here in this huge push. The angelic hierarchy is the spear. And the others are the shaft behind pushing through to break this paradigm of fear on the planet. And again, I want to wish all of you a wonderful and a joyful day. Thank you so much for your time, your patience, your energy, your focus for coming in here today. I'll look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday, and I'll look forward to seeing others of you on Friday, on Shortcuts for Your Souls Friday, and on Supernatural Saturday, where we do the weekly meditation. And again, thank you very much for your love, your time, your contributions. I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye.